So I wanted to play really, really provocative lines that if my opponent hadn't studied and researched and knew the right path, man, I'd have some knockout. So here's one that I used time after time. E4, D6, D4, knight F6, and I used to play the perk. Knight C3, G6, F4, Bishop G7, and because of the match between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky, Knight F3, C5 was the rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
D4 takes C5, and again, I've had this position numerous times. Queen A5, Bishop D3, Queen takes C5, Queen E2, castles. Like, you can look in the Encyclopedia of Chess Openings. You can look at the Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky match. There's just hundreds and hundreds of games from this position.
Mm-hmm.
And Bishop E3 is the main move. And everybody, including Fischer, after Bishop E3, played Queen A5. But look, I gotta ask, what about Queen B4? Like, play that move, Aman. Put that move on the board for just a second. And I'd like to ask the chat, you're seeing this position for the first time as white. You had expected Queen A5. You know that nobody ever plays the move Queen B4. So you know you got a winning move here, and you start looking for the win for white. Now tell me what you would like to play. Thank you, Q-Width. That's obviously the strongest move. Long side. Thank you, Such Sweet Thunder. Love the handle. Thank you both. Castles long is the most obvious move. Can I get, yeah, you guys all agree like castles long does it?
Yasser's doing something tricky. He's far too complimentary. Thank you so much for that suggestion. No. You guys are in trouble. No.
Have you guys ever seen The Sting?
You guys are in trouble.
Here it comes, everybody. After you castle, knight takes E4. Bam! My bamboo stick. Now, please do not play knight takes E4.
After knight takes E4, you can teach them the pattern again.
The pattern. Bishop takes B2 check. King B1, and only now Bishop C3, and it's mate next turn. You take with the bishop. You don't take with the queen immediately on B2.
Yeah.
You first bring your bishop to the nice square. So after knight takes E4, you got to take with the bishop.
Yep.
I'll take on C3 with my bishop. You got to stop the mate. You take, and I take on E4. That's an extra pawn, and I got you. Castles Long has won me many tournament victories. Not 2, not 4. I mean, think double digits, okay? So go back and don't castle long. How many of you would like to play Rook B1? Rook B1. Just defend the pawn.
Show of hands. Show of hands in the chat.
Show of hands. You don't want to give Yaz what he wants. You don't want to lose the pawn on B2. Show of hands. How many? Just defend the pawn. Come on, sure. Yes. Rook B1. Just defend the pawn. The next turn.
Why the heck not?
Right. And here comes my bamboo stick once more. Knight takes E4. It worked once, it's going to work twice. Bishop takes E4. Bishop takes C3 check. That's even more embarrassing than the move before. So, feels bad, man. Okay. So, now a lot of my opponents have seen those little tricks, Rook E1 and castles, so they castle long. Castle
short,
yeah. So that's the good guys, they castle short. Larry Christensen, others, they castle short. Now, again, I got to win the tournament. You know, I need that 90% score. Queen takes B2.
Sure. Take that,
Now,
sucker.
Take that, poison pawn, those, what they call it in the Najdorf poison pawn. So now the guys who are really, really, really clever play the move knight b5. They go, ha ha ha, queen's trapped.
Yep, and knight c7's on tap.
Not only that, but thank you, Aman. Knight c7 captures the rook in the corner. The threat is rook on f1 to b1. And if you could be so kind, Aman, just show how all the squares are covered. The queen can't retreat anywhere. Talk. All of those squares covered. A3 covered.
And the rook covers everyone here, and the rook's covering a2.
Piece of cake.
And the knight's in the way.
Right. And by the way, a6 doesn't protect the rook because
yes.
knight.
Trust me, I made sure to choose the worst move in the position.
Right. So now, contrarily, everybody, again in the chat, I have played this position lots and lots and lots of times, dozens and dozens of tournament games from this starting position. And I like Black's position, so I need you to tell me how on earth am I going to rescue.
How are you going to get a playable, likable position for Black?
Exactly. My queen is getting trapped. My rook is getting trapped. My goodness. I mean, life is not easy in professional chess. So the problem with knight g4, you attack the bishop, is rook on f1 to b1.
Yeah.
The queen has to come back to, let's say, f6 in this case. And the knight jumps into c7, and you end up a rook down, and eventually
or maybe
you're gonna,
an exchange down, but it's going to cost you your bishop, and it's just unacceptable in any position.
So knight g4 is not the correct move. We got an ant. You need a help. You better call a friend. Ooh, look at Frosty. Frosty came up with it. Brilliant, Frosty. Give that man a subscription. That's just brilliant. Knight e8. That is my all-star move. So let's understand what that move does. First of all, it stops the rook from getting trapped.
Right.
And it gives the queen a route home.
I'd like to point out, Yasser, after you said gift that man a subscription, every other non-subscriber is currently typing the move knight e8. Come to think of it, knight e8.
Knight e8, right. Okay, so now we have to look once again with new eyes at the position, because it's like, well, wait a minute. We're back to square one. We gotta trap the queen, right? But if you go rook f1 to b1, I come back with the queen, and you play e5, like you gotta go, right? Keep attacking the queen. I go queen e6, and you're
fizzling.
Gotta go like knight to d4 or knight to g5 or something like that, and I go queen back to d7. It's sort of like, well, wait a minute, where did the killer shot go, right? Somehow I went like a ping pong ball, a pinball, sorry, not a pinball, bing, 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 bing. I hit all the cushions, and I collected a bonus to come home, right?
Yeah.
And here my opponent's often lost without a fight because my king's safe.
Yeah.
Somehow d6 is covered. I'm going to play a6, and I've got like one of the best dragons ever, right? So Uh, I would always look for the lines that put the maximum pressure on my opponent in terms of knowing the answer. Because if you got this position and you saw it for the first time with my queen on b4, you were falling for all kinds of
One,
difficulties.
two, and then, even playing the best move, it's like after queen
Yeah,
b2 still, knight
right.
e8, there's more tests.
Ahead, right? And I remember it was pretty pathetic. I was laughing. It was so funny. I was playing against Larry Christensen, and he didn't want to be a pawn behind, pardon me. So he played knight takes a7, which I thought was hilarious. I just had to laugh. I said, so the great attacking genius, Larry Christensen, goes knight b1 to c3 to b5 and slaps down knight takes a7,
Yeah,
which is
brilliancy.
probably not a bad move, but it was pretty hilarious that you work so hard to win the pawn on a7.
He doesn't want to give
Uh,
any sort of credit to your queen takes b2. It's like, hey, no, you didn't win a pawn there. This is a fair trade.
exactly. So when you think about your own repertoire and whether it be, for example, a knight of Sicilian, inside though your repertoire, try to find variations that are ultra aggressive.